You can feel it, right? There's this question hanging in the air, this low-level anxiety that's just kind of hard to shake. Is AI coming for our jobs? For a lot of us, it feels like we're standing right on the edge of a cliff. But what if it's not a cliff at all? What if it's actually a turning point? Let's get into it.
I mean, that's the question that cuts right to the bone, isn't it? Is your job, my job, is the work we do as knowledge workers actually safe from this relentless march of AI? It's a fear that has officially jumped from science fiction movies right onto the front page of the news. And the headlines? They're getting really, really specific.
So let me just throw a number at you. 11,000. Between May and August of 2025, the huge consulting firm Accenture replaced 11,000 of its employees with AI systems. This wasn't some tiny experiment in a back office. No, this was a massive strategic overhaul, and they did it in just 90 days.
And listen to the reason their CEO gave. This part is kind of chilling. She said reskilling, the usual solution of just retraining people for the next thing, wasn't a viable path anymore. This wasn't just about cutting costs. It was basically a declaration that the skills AI requires are changing way faster than we can keep up.
Okay, so the Accenture story is a huge wake-up call, but it's really just one example of a much bigger shift. Let's really dig into the details of this new workforce reality we're all facing.
So the company took an $865 million charge to make this happen. That is not pocket change. That shows you just how serious they were. And the jobs they cut? These were the bedrock of the knowledge economy: IT support, data analysts, project managers. And at the exact same time, they started hiring for new roles like prompt engineers. And look, this isn't just an Accenture thing. It's part of a huge wave. We're talking nearly 90,000 tech jobs cut in 2025, all while companies are pouring billions into AI.
All right, to tackle this very modern, very scary problem, we're going to look somewhere you would never expect. We're going back in time to a book from 1910 that has a shockingly relevant take on how to handle massive change.
The book is called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, and its core principle is kind of wild. It says the whole universe is made of this creative energy. He calls it formless substance, and that our thoughts, our actual thoughts, have the power to shape this energy and create our reality.
Now, before you dismiss this, it's not just some abstract idea. What Wattles argues is that your fundamental way of thinking about the world becomes the actual blueprint for your way of doing things. So your mindset isn't separate from your actions, it's the direct cause of them, which means it's the cause of your results.
And this leads us right to the book's main idea, which frames how we respond to literally any challenge, including the rise of AI, as a choice between two totally different mindsets.
This chart just lays it out perfectly. On one side, you have the competitive mind. This is our default setting, right? It sees a limited supply of jobs, so it reacts with fear, scrambling to grab a piece of a shrinking pie. But then, you have the creative mind. It operates from a totally different place. It sees a limitless supply of opportunity, believing it can always create new value, new roles. It isn't afraid of being replaced. It's focused on advancing.
And this quote from the book just nails it. The competitive person is always fighting for a slice of the pie that's already there. The creative person is busy in the kitchen baking a whole new one. When you think about AI, this means we have to stop competing for the jobs that are being automated and start creating the value that can't be.
So, that's the mindset shift. It sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do it? Well, Wattles gives us a very clear, actionable toolkit. He calls it acting in the certain way.
Okay, so there are 4 steps. First, you need a crystal clear vision of what you want. Second, you hold that vision with unwavering faith that it's on its way. Third, and this is a big one, you act with gratitude. And fourth, you take efficient action. Now, that doesn't mean figuring out the next 10 years. It just means doing everything you can do today, whether that's learning one new AI tool or making one new connection, and doing it as perfectly as you can without worrying about tomorrow.
Wattles really hammers home this point about gratitude. And it's not just about feeling nice, he sees it as a powerful strategic tool. Think about it. When you're facing layoffs and uncertainty, your brain's natural reaction is fear, a competitive thought. Gratitude forces your mind to pivot, to focus on the creative source, on abundance, and it stops you from spiraling down that rabbit hole of scarcity.
All right, let's take this century-old toolkit and apply it directly to the challenge we're all facing: how to build a career and really thrive in a world being transformed by AI.
This quote is everything. The person who thrives isn't the one who is just good at their job. They're the one who is actively outgrowing it.
They are always becoming more capable, more valuable than their current role actually requires. Wattles calls this the advancing person.
So what does this person look like in 2025? Well, an advancing person sees their job as a launch pad, not a parking spot. They are laser-focused on giving more in use value than they get in salary. This means their skills, their ideas, their problem-solving, all of it is worth way more to the company than what they cost. They don't just do their job. They use AI tools to expand what's possible. They learn the skills for the job above them. They literally make themselves too big for their current box, and that makes their next move, whether it's a promotion or a new venture, basically inevitable.
And honestly, this is the whole game right here. It's not about finding some mythical job that's AI-proof. That's a losing strategy. The real game is to adopt a mindset of constant growth, constant creation. You don't become irreplaceable by hiding from technology. You become irreplaceable by using it to grow beyond your role and create more and more value.
So as we wrap this up, you can see that the question we started with, is my job safe? It might just be the wrong question. It's a question that comes from that competitive, fear-based mindset.
The real question, the much more powerful question, is this one. It reframes this entire moment. Instead of seeing AI as a threat to what we have, we can see it as the powerful catalyst it is. This is a moment that is forcing us out of the old competitive scramble and onto a new creative plane. So it's not about what you might lose, it's about what you are going to choose to create.